Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, joined today by Dalton Rosta, who returns to action facing Fabian Edwards for the PFL middleweight tournament final later this month. Dalton, great to sit down and chat. How are your emotions ahead of this next fight?
I feel great, man. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for giving me some of your time. How's training camp been so far?
Everything's been great. Everything's coming to plan, and I'm excited to get in there in 2 weeks.
This is obviously the biggest fight of your career so far. Do you take the just one more fight type approach and not kind of lean into that too much, or do you meditate on the magnitude of the moment and what's at stake?
No, for sure. I'm taking into account that's the biggest fight of my career. Same thing with the last fight before that, the fight before that, and that sounds cliche, but these last three in particular, each one has meant a little bit more, and this is definitely the most important, and I'm taking it seriously.
Has the tournament lived up to your expectations? Has it been more or less difficult than you anticipated?
No, I mean, in terms of like the tournament format versus just fighting regular, I prefer the tournament because I know exactly when I'm fighting.
Mm.
Whereas with Bellator, before there was a couple years, 2 or 3 years in there where they only fought me once,
Mm.
and there might be first some reasons for that or whatever, but that's really not for me to say. So it was kind of like hard to base your training or your training camps or anything off of that. But I like this approach better. And as for like the competition side of things and like how tough the tournament's been this far, I don't think it's been very tough at all, honestly. I mean, I went out there and made quick work of Saudi Busi in the first round. And even though it was like a gritty fight, that last one against Aaron Jeffrey, we know that's how he fights. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Every single fight he's in is like that. Four of his six decision wins are split decisions. So I knew it was going to be that type of fight if I didn't get him out of there. But that's what we expected. So it wasn't like we went in there and we expected something different and ended up being tougher than we thought. It went the way we expected it to.
I was going to ask you about that because some of the previous PFL tournament winners who I've spoke to, the likes of Kayla Harris and Anthony Pettis, Brendan Loughnane, Anthony didn't win the tournament, but nevertheless, all of these guys have said to me that it's the most difficult uh, competition they've ever been through. It doesn't feel like that's the case with you so far.
No, you got to think a lot of people forget I have a wrestling background.
Mm.
Both whenever I was a kid, wrestling in high school, and then wrestling in college. So the tournament style of things I'm used to. And actually, with wrestling, we get 8 weeks in between fights now. Back whenever I wrestled, you get an hour between matches max. And you're wrestling 3, 4 times in a day, and then you're doing the same thing the next day. So the tournament format actually suits me better, and it gives me something to look forward to. I know who my next opponent is, and I know at the end of the day, no politics are being played at all. It's just about win and move on.
Has anything surprised you
For in terms of the
in
tournament,
terms of the tournament?
no, not in particular. No, I can't say anything has.
Let's talk about your next opponent, who you'll be facing later this month, Fabian Edwards. What do you make of him first and foremost as a stylistic matchup?
He's a good striker. If I'm going to sit here and talk shit and say that he's not a good fighter, I'd be lying to myself. I'd be lying to the fans. I'd be lying to you. He is a good fighter. I'm prepared for him, and I know at the end of the day, if I'm going in there and I'm taking him seriously, and I know what he brings to the table, um, at the end of the day, I know I'm still levels ahead of him. No matter what I say, no matter what he says, I think that there's a pretty decisive gap between our skill levels. And I see some of the people online and some of the, predictions and stuff like that. And people might not be siding with me, but it's not the first time I've been the underdog. I've been the underdog all camp long or all tournament long. I was the underdog against Saudi Busi, underdog against Aaron Jeffrey. This one's no different. So I'm going to go out there and prove everybody wrong once again. And that being said, like I said, he's a tough fighter, but I'm gonna go out there and show everybody that there's levels.
Where did the dislike between you and him come from, if I can call it that?
I don't know. Uh, he we were at the Cubs Stadium before the before the fight, before the semifinals, and him and his coaches were being like super respectful. Didn't really say a word. And then when we're in the cage during that face off, it wasn't so much him, it was more so his coaches talking than anything. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things, you know. It's like I can't really put my finger on it, but at the end of the day, I do not like him. And last time there was animosity between me and someone else was Romero Cotton, at least to like this magnitude.
Mm.
And I went out there and put a beating on that man. So I think this favors me more. The more I hate somebody, the better it is for me. Because I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna try to take your head off even worse.
PFL put a video out where there was a timer attached to the face-off. I think it ends up about 1 minute 28, somewhere along those lines. But the initial person to look away is Fabian. So my question to you is, do face-offs, pre-fight face-offs actually matter?
Yes, 100%. You hear people like Tyson talk about it all the time. You know, whenever I see you look away, I'm staring into your eyes, you're staring into mine. I see you look away, I see that little flinch. I know I got you. And August 21st, it's going to show.
The last guy to beat him and the guy who's beat him twice is a guy who you share the training mat with, and Johnny Eblin. I'm not sure if Johnny's been
Mhm.
in the gym, but have you sought any advice on this stylistic matchup?
No, because me and Johnny Styles are different. I'm more explosive. I'm stronger. I'm faster, quicker, more powerful. Um, Fabian went in there. He lost. He got knocked out by him once, and then he got grounded out and lost a 5 round decision to him. I could do the same thing, but worse. So uh, I'm looking forward to going out and showing that. And Fabian's pretty confident. At least he's saying he is. And I think on fight night, maybe halfway through that first round, his mindset's going to change a little bit.
Have you sought any advice from Dakota in terms of how to handle a PFL final? Because she probably has one of the most emphatic and probably memorable final wins last year against Tyler Santos.
Uh, no, I haven't really asked her for any advice. This is the biggest fight of my career, and it's my first 5 round fight.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm trusting in my coaches. I have some of the best coaches in the world. I'm at the best gym in the world. I have some of the best training partners in the world. So I'm trusting in them, and I'm trusting in myself. I'm trusting in my own work ethic. I'm going in there day by day and doing everything I possibly can to prepare myself. I'm leaving no stone unturned. I'm doing all the road work, miles on top of miles after my sparring sessions, and my sparring sessions are consisting of 5 rounds against two fresh fighters. We're subbing a guy in halfway through, and it's been like that all camp long. And I'm doing the pad work. I'm doing circuits where I have my striking coach holding pads for me, and then I have a fresh guy coming in and grappling me midway through the round, and then back on the pads, and then back in the grappling. And they're putting me in bad situations. I either have to get out of them or reverse them, or if I'm starting on an offensive one, I have to take him down, whatever. But that being said, even in these positions where I'm supposed to be exhausted and the fresh guys coming in against me, I'm still getting subs in these circuits against high level guys. And one of the things I pointed out beforehand, and I'm sure you noticed this on my social media, is apparently Fabian Edwards is black belt in jiu-jitsu. And I don't know who the fuck gave him that black belt, but I'm subbing a lot higher level guys whenever I'm completely exhausted in training. And whenever I put him on his back in the fight, which is going to happen, I'm going to put a wrestling clinic on this guy. I'm going to show him what a true black belt is. And I'm not even a black belt yet, but I'll give him and his coach a lesson in the same night.
The 5 rounds you mentioned there, first 5 round fight of your career, do you feel like your style is suited to go in 25 minutes, or do you feel like this is an extra hurdle that you may have to overcome should it get into those fourth and fifth rounds?
No hurdle at all, man. I can do anything I set my mind to. And 3 rounds, 5 rounds, it does not fucking matter. We can go 10, and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him for 10 rounds. So 3, 5, 10 doesn't matter.
There's a lot on the line in this next fight. What would you say a win over Fabian Edwards and capturing that PFL title would say about your skills relative to the rest of the guys on the world stage?
It's just cementing the fact that I'm the best in the world. I keep saying it. People are still doubting it. And first round, went out there and subbed a former champion. Second round, drew the only person that beat me, avenged my only loss. So now I can say that I beat every single person that's been put in front of me. And I beat high level guys. And this fight coming up is another high level guy. And he's someone that a lot of people consider one of the best middleweights outside of the UFC, one of the best middleweights in the world, period. And whenever I go out there and I dominate this guy and put him on his back and open him up and I finish him, a lot of people are going to be considering me one of the best in the world. They're going to start believing me. They're like, all right, maybe this guy's right, you know? And then every fight from that point forward, I'm going to prove it time and time and time again. So I'm just going to keep putting these names under my belt and keep getting win after win after win until everybody believes it.
I love it. Last question from me. Thank you for your time. The final in a couple of weeks' time. There's two prizes on the line. There's a world championship belt, and there's also a check with a large sum of money. Which one of those two prizes means more to you? And if you had to grade them on a curve, what would the percentages be of which matter to you most?
The belt 100%, 0% for the money. I don't give a damn about the money. The money's going to come. You win, you get the belt, the money's going to come no matter what. And I joined this sport to be the best in the world. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Smart man. Dalton, thank you for your time. Good to catch up. Have a great and safe rest of camp, and best of luck for the next fight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.